It's finally here, y'all. The moment we've all been waiting for, the Kai Season 7 Episode 12. The season finale just dropped, and let me tell you, this ain't no regular ending. First off, Nuck, finally, after all the lies, all the secrets, and all the dirty moves, Nuck's world starts falling apart piece by piece. You could feel it coming all season, but now it's real. That person from his past they teased? Yeah, they pulled up, and the look on Nuck's face said it all. That man been running game, manipulating people like chess pieces, but this ghost from back in the day? They knew the old Nuck, the one before the suits, before the fake smiles, before the lies got too deep to untangle, and when they showed up, it was like every fake wall he built started cracking. You could see it in his eyes. For once, Nuck ain't have a plan, he was shook. But while Nuck was scrambling, your boy Ray, man, he was moving like a whole storm. This man was on a mission, no fear, no hesitation. The robbery they set up last episode, that wasn't even the whole story. Ray hit Alicia's spot hard, just like we thought. And he wasn't just after money, he was after payback. And let's be real, he don't care who gets in the way. But here's the thing, while Ray was breaking in through the back door, Alicia was already locked and loaded. Remember that gun Rosalind had in the trailer? That moment finally paid off. And nah, it wasn't some random twist. This was personal. Alicia walked up in there ready to end it. That showdown, cold, and y'all know the Kai don't show everything in the trailer. So when that trigger moment finally came, your jaw hit the floor. I'm telling you, nobody was safe. Meanwhile, over on the emotional side, Emmett was going through it. That man's whole world flipped upside down between Alicia's vendetta, Ray snapping, and Jada's condition. It was just too much. That scene with Darnell, you could feel the weight of it. Emmett breaking down, trying to hold it together, realizing that no matter how strong you try to be, life will still hit you in the gut. And when he heard that final news about Jada, yeah, that silence said more than any words could. For those of us who've been watching since season 1, seeing Jada's story come full circle like this, it hurt. That's family. And it made it real clear this finale wasn't just about gunplay and street drama. It was about grief, legacy, and how pain can tear even the strongest apart. And let's not forget about Tiffany. She was on edge the whole episode. Baby on the way, danger all around, emotions running high, and then boom, everything went sideways. Some fans predicted it, some were hoping they were wrong. But when her water broke in the middle of all that chaos, it felt like time stopped. Victor rushing her to the hospital, traffic jam, panic in his voice, it felt too real. That scene had fans on edge, praying she makes it, and I gotta say, the writers played with our hearts. Because for a second, it really felt like we were about to lose her. The ambulance delay, the screaming, Victor losing control behind the wheel, it was like death was knocking on the door again. But in the Kai, nothing comes easy, even life itself. As all this was going down, Bari's voice kept echoing throughout the episode. You know how he does those deep reflections, always talking about life, death, and everything in between. This time, his words hit harder than ever. When someone dies, something new is born. That right there, it became the heartbeat of the finale. Whether it was Jada's final moments, Tiffany giving birth, or even Regis' transformation into something darker and more dangerous, every storyline was about rebirth. Something dying, something starting, and you could feel it in every single frame. This episode wasn't just a conclusion, it was a reset. A signal that the Kai is about to enter a whole new era. And that's just the beginning, y'all. In the next section, we're gonna dive deeper into who that mystery person from Nuck's past really is, and how their presence flips the entire game upside down. Because trust me, the Kai didn't hold back, and this finale, it left us with more questions than answers. Now let's talk about the biggest mystery the trailer gave us, this person from Nuck's past. That's supposed to shake up his whole world. Man, when they finally revealed who it wasn't just a twist, it was a full-blown character flip. This ain't somebody random. This ain't no throwaway side character. This is somebody who knows the real Nuck, the one before the fake suits, the dirty politics, the community front he'd been hiding behind. This person came back with receipts, old memories, old dirt, old wounds, and once they stepped in the room, Nuck started looking like a deer in headlights. The confidence dropped. The lies didn't hit the same. You could see it on his face. He knew it was over. See, when you live your whole life building up a false image, it only takes one real voice from your past to tear it all down. This person ain't just here to expose Nuck, they came for justice. And the Kai don't play around when it comes to justice. There were moments in this episode where Nuck looked like he was about to crumble. He tried to clean it up, tried to flip the narrative, but the truth had already leaked out, and it wasn't just whispers. People started finding out. Bari got wind of it. Alicia caught pieces of it. Even Victor started putting the puzzle together. And by the time the episode hit that boiling point, everybody started seeing Nuck for who he really is, a manipulator, a coward, and someone who's been hiding behind power for way too long. But what made it even colder? He still tried to fight back. He still tried to weasel his way out. That moment where he was talking to Bari, he tried to twist things. Make it seem like he was the victim. Like this person from the past was just bitter and trying to ruin his progress. But Bari ain't stupid. He was already side-eyeing him from jump. And now? That doubt became truth. That whole scene, full of tension, no shouting, no punches. Just silent understanding. Bari looking at Nook like, damn, you really had us fooled. And you already know Alicia wasn't letting nothing slide either. She's been on a mission all season. And this right here gave her more ammo. Remember how she's been slowly pulling strings, moving like a chess master? This was her checkmate moment. Once she found out what Nook did in the past and who he really hurt, it was a wrap. And even though she had her own problems going on with Ray and the robbery, you could see the shift. Her focus went from revenge to something deeper: truth. She ain't just want to get even anymore. She wanted to burn the whole mask Nook been wearing. And when she finally confronted him, that scene was raw, no screaming, just truth, cold, sharp, and undeniable. Meanwhile, while Nook's web of lies was falling apart, Emmett was on the edge. That talk with Darnell earlier was just the beginning. He was spiraling, trying to hold on to anything that felt stable. And when the news about Jada finally dropped, bro broke down. That man cried real tears, the kind you don't fake for TV. You could feel it. All the growth Emmett went through over the years, all the trials, the hustle. The heartbreak, it all came rushing out in that moment. Losing Jada? That hit a nerve for everybody watching. Because she wasn't just his mom, she was a foundation, and without her, Emmett's world don't make sense anymore. And then there's Kesha, oh man. That girl been a soldier through everything, and now, in the middle of all this chaos, she's bringing life into the world, her and Tiffany both to black women. About to give birth while the city around them is literally on fire. It was powerful. But also terrifying, because with all the tension in the air, it felt like at any moment, something could go wrong. The lights flickered in the hospital, sirens in the background, the nurses panicking. It wasn't just about birth, it was about survival. And the way they cut between Tiffany and Kesha in labor, and Alicia loading her strap, that edit was cold. It told you straight up this episode ain't about peace, it's about rebirth through pain. Something's gotta die for something new to live. Back to Ray though, the man is a beast. Even after getting arrested, even after the heat on his back, he still found a way to move. And not just physically, mentally. That talk he had with Keith, that was a game changer. Keith basically gave him the keys, bail, backup, strategy. It's like Ray been playing checkers and now he's playing chess. And with all that anger in his heart, all that betrayal, all that hurt, it's only a matter of time before he goes full-blown revenge mode. You could see it in his eyes. He ain't the same Ray we met in earlier seasons. This man is reborn. Cold, smart, and dangerous. And look, y'all, we still ain't even touched the robbery showdown or what goes down in the final 5 minutes. But trust me, what happens next, it sets the whole city on fire. Now this right here, this is where it all starts spinning out of control. That robbery we saw coming since the end of episode 11? It finally pops off in episode 12, and it ain't just a petty break-in. This was calculated. This was personal, and Ray made sure everybody felt it. From the way he moved through Alicia's house, to how he tore up them pictures like he was wiping away her legacy, it was deeper than just stealing money. It was about sending a message, and Alicia, she got that message loud and clear. The moment Ray stepped through that front door, you could tell this wasn't just survival, it was war. The lights were low, the energy was tense, and he was moving like a ghost through that place, quiet, fast, and dangerous. He didn't hesitate. He knew exactly where to go, what to grab, and how to get out. But what he didn't expect was Alicia pulling up with that strap in hand. And listen, when I say this scene had me holding my breath, I ain't lying. Alicia walking through that door, gun raised, heart racing. She wasn't there to talk. She was there to end it. All season long, she's been carrying this storm inside her, and now she finally let it out. But what made it crazy was the fact that she hesitated. Just for a second, she saw Ray, this kid who used to be family. She saw the pain in his eyes, the rage, the betrayal, and in that 1 second, everything slowed down. You could feel the weight of all their history sitting between them. And just when you think she's about to pull that triggered, boom, the sirens hit, law enforcement pulling up fast. Somebody tipped them off, and it was chaos from there. Ray makes a break for it, and that whole chase sequence, man, it was intense. Cops storming the block, neighbors yelling, Alicia screaming his name like she didn't even know if she wanted him dead or safe at that point. That's how complicated their relationship had gotten. And Ray, he dipped. But the real question is, did he get away? Because while all that was going down, law enforcement started closing in. And who was right there leading the charge? Your girl, Detective Tisan. She's been playing the long game all season, waiting for that one slip up. And now, she finally got her hands on Ray. That moment where she cuffed him? You could see the satisfaction all over her face. Like, got you. And Ray, he didn't fight it, he just stared at her, calm, almost like he knew something she didn't, like he had another move waiting. And that's what makes him dangerous. Ray ain't the type to fold easy, but here's where things start to split. Because while Ray's getting hauled off, Alicia is still standing in her living room, shaking, strap still in her hand. And that's when it hits her she was ready to kill somebody she once loved like family, and even though she didn't pull the trigger, it changed her. You could see it in her face. That fire in her eyes turned to guilt, to regret, and maybe even confusion, because deep down, Alicia knows. She created this version of Ray, the violence, the hunger. The hurt it came from everything she built and everything she destroyed. And now she gotta live with that. Meanwhile, in another corner of the city, something even heavier was going down. Tiffany, that labor scene? Man, it was rough. Screaming, blood, chaos. Victor trying to keep it together but clearly breaking inside. And it felt like every second dragged. You didn't know if she was gonna make it, if the baby was gonna survive, or if both of them were about to be gone. And while all this was happening, Bari's words kept ringing in the background. When someone dies, something new is born. It was poetic and painful at the same time. The birth scenes weren't just about babies, they were about change. Kesha too, going into labor in a quieter but equally intense moment. And the way they cut between her and Tiffany, that was art, to women, to stories. Two lives colliding in the middle of a city that's been drowning in violence. And when that baby cried for the first time, you felt a shift, like, for a moment. All the pain paused. There was light in the darkness, but that light didn't last long, because back on the streets, Hannibal was making moves. That man slippery, like I told y'all. Every time you think he's down, he pops back up, and now he's moving like a vulture, picking at the pieces of everything that's falling apart. Ray gone, Nuck exposed. Alicia unraveling. Hannibal sees the openings, and he's coming for the crown. The streets ain't got no loyalty. And Hannibal knows how to play that game better than most. And speaking of Nuck, the man is spiraling. That ghost from his past didn't just shake him, it broke him. He's losing control. People around him are questioning everything, his grip on power slipping. And when he finally tries to pull himself back up, he makes a desperate move. A move that's going to change everything in the final moments of this episode. Now look, I ain't even touched the final twist yet, but best believe, the last 10 minutes of this episode, it flips the table. Everything you thought you knew? Forget it. The Kai knew exactly how to close out the season with pain, power, and a whole lot of questions. You know how some finals give you a soft ending, something quiet to ease you into the wait for next season? Yeah, the Kai don't play like that. The last 10 minutes of episode 12, that's where it gets deadly. That's where it gets personal. And that's where it leaves you sitting in complete silence, just staring at the screen like, did that really just happen? Let's start with Nuck. The man finally reaches his breaking point. His lies exposed, his empire shaking, that person from his past still breathing down his neck. And now, he ain't got the answers. All season he's been moving like a boss, slick with his words, manipulating everybody around him like it's nothing. But in those last moments, he was scared, paranoid, alone. And when you see Nuck scared like that, you already know something real is coming. So he pulls a desperate move. He tries to silence the past once and for all. He goes to confront the person who exposed him, tries to handle it quiet, no witnesses. But the Kai don't do clean endings. That meetup, it don't go as planned. There's yelling, accusations, and then's a shot, loud, sharp, final. But the camera don't show who got hit. You just hear it, and then cut to black. You sitting there wondering, did Nuck pull the trigger? Did he get shot? Is the past finally buried? Or did it just come back stronger? While that's happening, Alicia's unraveling in real time. After the robbery, after nearly killing Ray, she's left with nothing but her thoughts and guilt. Heavy guilt. She pours herself a drink, sits in that destroyed living room, and just stares. And then she gets a phone call, silent at first, just her breathing. Then a voice says, he's out. That's all, 2 words. And you already know they talking about Ray. Dude done slipped out of jail again. And Alicia? She don't flinch. She just grabs the gun and walks out. No words, just purpose. That's how you know it's war now. And Ray, man, this dude's rebirth is something else. It's like every bit of pain and betrayal shaped him into something colder, sharper. He don't talk much in these last scenes, just moves, quiet, calculated. That scene where he walks through the alley, hood up, hand in his coat, chills. He ain't the same Ray from a few seasons back. He's something else now, a storm ready to hit. Then we got Emmett, and bro, this was the part that got me. He's sitting outside the hospital, eyes red from crying, just holding his newborn, but Jada's gone. They confirmed it. That moment where the nurse walks up, gives him the look. No words, just a shake of the head. It breaks him and us. He tries to be strong for the baby, for Kesha, for everybody. But you can see it, he's shattered, and the way the camera lingers on him, just rocking that baby with tears falling down his face, man, that scene alone deserves an award. Kesha gives birth to, but hers is calmer. Zuri helps her through it, and when the baby comes out, there's a brief smile, a rare peace. But you already know, peace don't last in the Kai, because right after that, Victor comes rushing in with blood on his shirt, and he's not okay. He's shaking, sweating, and Tiffany, she's still unconscious. The baby made it, but Tiffany's fate? They leave it hanging, and that's how they get you. Because now you gotta wait months just to find out if she lived. And then we got the biggest shock of all, Rosalind. Yep, she finally shows up again, out nowhere. Walking into an empty room, lights off, gun in hand, and who's sitting there? Hannibal, just chilling, smiling, and he says, "You took too long." Boom, lights go out, 2 shots, we don't see who drops, we don't see who survives. Just 2 echoing gunshots and then silence. That's the final scene of the Kai Season 7. So let's break it down. Nuck might be dead. Ray is on the loose again. Alicia's back on revenge mode. Emmett lost his mother. Tiffany might not survive. Hannibal and Rosalind had a face-off, and the city? It's about to be flipped upside down. The writers didn't just give us a finale, they gave us a cliffhanger. War zone. Nobody's safe. Nothing is settled, and you can tell Season 8, if and when it comes, is going to be absolute chaos because now, everybody got blood on their hands, and the game done changed. I know you feel me on this. Because this wasn't just an episode, it was a full reset. The city of Chicago as we knew it in this show, done. This was the Kai pulling all the way up and saying, y'all ain't ready for what's next. Now let's talk about Rob, man. This dude has been floating in and out of dangerous waters all season long. And honestly, it's starting to catch up. You remember how he been playing both sides? Trying to keep things cool with Dowda while also doing backdoor moves with Victor? That was never gonna end well. In this episode, the pressure finally cracked him. It's like he's been walking a tightrope with no net, and now the wind's blowing hard. We see Rob trying to maintain his loyalty to his mother Alicia, but at the same time, he knows if he makes one wrong move, Dowda gonna have his head on a platter. That man is cold. No second chances. The question is, does Rob really have what it takes to go up against a monster like Dowda, or is he gonna fold? And speaking of monsters, how about that moment when Papa finally stood up? That scene hit different. This whole season, he's been grieving, lost in his own world, trying to figure out who he is after losing his pops. But in this episode, something clicked. That fire we saw in the trailer, yeah, it wasn't just for show. Papa came with a whole different energy. He's not trying to be anybody's little brother anymore. He's got a voice. And he's tired of sitting on the sidelines while everybody else is out here making moves. There's something about grief that either breaks you or builds you, and Papa, he building something, trust that. But what's wild is I don't think the street's ready for this version of him. Now let's circle back to Nina and Dre. That storyline been building under the surface, but now it's boiling over. The way Nina looked Dre in the eye and said she ain't going through another heartbreak. You could feel that. It ain't even about cheating anymore, it's about betrayal, broken promises, and emotional exhaustion. Nina's been holding on, hoping things would get better, but she tired, man, and Dre, she trying to fight for it. But she low-key know the damage is already done. Relationships don't die from one big fight, they die from 100 small wounds. And we watching the final cut bleed out. So the big question now is, do they split for good? Or does something bring them back? Maybe a tragedy, maybe a scare? Either way, it's not looking too bright for them. Oh, and how can we not talk about Tiffany? Listen, I ain't gonna lie, Tiff is becoming one of the most unpredictable characters this season. One minute she's vibing with Rob, next minute she throwing shade at Keisha, then out of nowhere she out here plotting behind closed doors. And that smirk she had when Emmett came up in conversation, nah, she ain't over him. That's the crazy part, she acting like she moved on. But the way her eyes lit up when she heard Emmett's name, that wasn't no coincidence. She still got feelings. Problem is, if she decides to slide back into that mix, it's gonna be straight chaos. Keisha ain't about to play no games, and Emmett, he fragile right now. One wrong move and that man might spiral again. We seen it before. And yo, what's going on with Dowda's crew getting smaller by the episode? First it was Bakary switching up, then Zay started getting shaky, and now even his shooters look like they second-guessing him. That's how you know the wall's closing in. Power don't last forever, especially when it's built on fear. The moment people stop being scared, it's game over. And you can see it in Dowda's face too. He getting sloppy, paranoid, like he knows the end is coming. But he just don't know from where. That's what makes him dangerous. A cornered man is the most violent, so whoever trying to take him out better do it quick, cause if he gets even a hint of who's behind it, it's lights out. And just when you thought things couldn't get more twisted, they throw in that mystery phone call. You know the one I'm talking about. No voice on the other end, just heavy breathing and static. that ain't no prank, that's a message. And in the Kai, when someone sends a silent message like that, it means they watching, waiting, planning. Somebody is about to make a move that's gonna shake the whole city. And the craziest part, we don't even know if it's an old enemy or someone new in the game. Either way, somebody's coming. And they ain't coming to play. By the end of this episode, everything feels like it's teetering on the edge. We've got loyalty being tested, hearts breaking, friendships cracking, and war creeping in from every corner. Ain't nobody safe in the Kai right now. Not Emmett, not Victor, not even Dauda. And you know what makes this episode hit even harder? It's that quiet tension. The kind where everybody pretending to be cool, but you can feel the storm coming. Ain't no trust left, ain't no forgiveness on the table. Everybody's picking a side. And the middle ground, it's gone. Now let's be real. This show has always been about more than just the drama. It's about survival, about family, about what you're willing to risk for the people you love. And this episode reminded us of that in the rawest way. Every look, every silence, every door closed behind someone, it all meant something, and it's all leading to something bigger. You can feel it building. The final's not here yet, but that ending, that closing shot, it felt like a goodbye. Like somebody we care about ain't making it to the end, and that's the scariest part. So now we wait. We hold our breath and wonder who's gonna flip, who's gonna fall, and who's gonna survive when the truth finally explodes. One thing's for sure, this ain't just another episode. This is the beginning of the reckoning. Let me know in the comments what moment hit you the hardest. Who do you think is gonna turn next? And are you ready for what's coming next week? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you felt that tension like I did. This was the Kai Season 7 Episode 12, and if you thought this episode was wild, trust me, the storm hasn't even started yet. Let's talk about Alicia for a second. Because this woman, she's playing a long game. And I'm starting to believe she might be the most dangerous person in the Kai right now. More dangerous than Dauda, more calculated than Q ever was, and definitely more manipulative than we gave her credit for. She's not just plotting behind the scenes, she's orchestrating a damn revolution. And Rob, poor Rob, he still thinks he can be in the middle, still believes he can stay loyal to both his mom and Emmett, but that's the lie that's gonna break him. Because in the Kai, there ain't no room for peacekeepers. Sooner or later, everybody gotta choose. You saw how Alicia's playing this chessboard, right? She ain't just reacting, she's planning 5 moves ahead, meeting with enemies, manipulating her own son, even using Keisha's pain to her advantage. And when she told Rob she was proud of him, that wasn't love, that was control. That was her pulling his strings, and it worked. Because now Rob's caught in the middle of 2 worlds and both of them are burning. Meanwhile, Dauda's losing his grip. The kingpin who once ruled the south side like a god is now scrambling to hold on. His crew crumbling, his allies fading, and his enemies multiplying. This man is being hunted from every angle. Bakari, Alicia, even Victor, and the crazy part? Dauda don't even seem scared, but he should be, cause this ain't like before. He can't buy loyalty anymore, he can't scare people into silence. Not when the whole city wants him gone. But what's really scary? The silence. The way characters are moving in shadows. Papa, Maisha, even Maisha, nobody's saying much. But you can feel the pressure. It's like everyone's preparing for something big, like all these stories are about to collide in one explosive finale. We've seen heartbreak before in the Kai, but this time, it's not just about love and betrayal. It's about survival. So as Alicia tightens her grip and Dauda loses control, we're left wondering who's gonna rise from this mess and who's gonna get buried underneath it. Everything is leading to one final moment, one last explosion, one last betrayal, and the scariest part, we don't know who's gonna make it out alive. Emmett's still walking around like he's untouchable, but we know that ain't true. That man's got too many enemies and not enough protection. He thinks he's safe because he walked away from Dauda, but walking away from a monster doesn't mean the monster forgets you. It just means it's watching you from the dark, waiting for the right time to strike. And Keisha, she's strong, but you can see it. She's worn down, tired. She's holding everything together for her kids, for Emmett, for herself. But how long can she do that before something snaps? Because you can't pour from an empty cup. And this season has been draining her, one heartbreak at a time. Her silence speaks louder than her words now. That moment at the end of the episode, when she just stared off, tears barely held back, that was pain, that was fear. That was a woman who knows that nothing will ever be the same again. And what about Victor? He's standing on the edge, torn between his past and whatever future he's trying to build. He wants to do good, wants to protect the people he loves, but there's blood on his hands. And the ghosts are starting to follow him. We've seen this show take people down before, good people, honest people, and Victor's no exception. He's trying to save everyone else, but who's gonna save him? Then there's Pop-Up, still wrestling with God, still chasing a purpose. This boy's been grieving been questioning everything, and now he's starting to see the bigger picture. But will that revelation come in time, or is he gonna learn, like the others, that in the Kai, wisdom sometimes comes too late? So here we are, one episode away from the finale. Every character is backed into a corner. Every truth is out in the open, and the city, it's rumbling with something big, something tragic, something final. Because when you live in a world full of secrets, power plays, and broken loyalties, there's only one thing you can count on: everything comes at a price. And that bill, it's about to be due. Stick around, because episode 13 isn't just the season finale, it's the moment we've been dreading and waiting for.